every man who's cheated, there's a lot of women cheats and male cheats. It's not just males. Women do it too. They're just much more sneaky than we are. You could catch a woman in bed with another man, and you could walk in and be her boyfriend, and you say, I can't believe you did that. You're cheating on me. And she'll say, it's all because you don't appreciate me. This guy took advantage of me.
Am I the asshole for encouraging my son to sing a prenup with his fiancée? I'm a 60-year-old male, and my wife, 56-year-old female, and I have 3 kids. Harvey, 30-year-old male, and Dean, 25-year-old male, 21-year-old female. While we're not wealthy, we live comfortable thanks to our family business, and we've been able to provide a good life to my sons. I'm a doctor, and my wife is a lawyer. I take no shame in saying that when you settle to form a family with someone, you should do it with a person who shares the same, or better, lifestyle. Someone who is able to bring the same amount, or more, than you into the household. My son Harvey is set to marry Tina, 23-year-old female, next year. They're expecting their first child right now, and they seem somewhat happy. I appreciate Tina. I know she's smart and has potential, but she dropped out of college a year before my son met her, and doesn't have any intent of coming back. She used to work as a secretary for one of her dad's friends, but now my son is supporting them, and apparently she'll become a stay-at-home mom. I can understand my son right now. He's going to be a father, he has a young, beautiful wife, and is not seeing things clearly. So yesterday when he came to visit us, I sat him down and advised him that maybe he should sign a prenup with Tina, and told him that his mom could assist him with it. He didn't react badly or anything, and only asked, why do I think he should do it? I stated my reasons and assured him that, while I have nothing against his fiancée, they have a huge financial gap. His mom also told him that if he didn't want to get a prenup, it was okay, but that at least he should encourage his wife to form a career or some kind of stability of her own, and that we were more than happy to provide childcare while she did it. My son left after that and later texted us that his fiancée agreed to look into college information. However, my daughter said that we were assholes for getting in the middle of something that we didn't cared, and that if Harvey wanted to support Tina blindly, it was his business. My wife and I are thinking about apologizing, but we aren't sure if we really did something wrong, since Harvey and Tina claim that they're not mad, and Tina agrees that it's best if Harvey doesn't have any financial advantage over her.
Who's the asshole in this situation? The daughter. The daughter's the asshole. Okay, it's obvious. Of course you sign a prenuptial agreement with somebody. Of course. Why wouldn't you? Imagine you hate someone. Let's, for instance, I get married. In 8 years, I decide that, things are going well, I'm in love, but my wife now is cheating on me or something, and we need a divorce. Do you know that if I'm the higher wage earner, I've got to pay her money? I've got to send her a check of the difference between our incomes, possibly. I don't know how it's formulated, but for 4 years. 4 years I have to pay someone I dislike who cheated on me. So I believe in a prenuptial agreement, 100%. So the asshole is the daughter. The father was saying the right thing. Get a prenuptial agreement. The thing is, it's a little bit late. The girl is pregnant. You should do this before you get someone pregnant, because it's tough to mention this while somebody is pregnant with your child. But a prenuptial agreement gives people less incentive to leave you because there's no financial reward for leaving you. They can earn money on their own. You could earn money on your own, and it's separate. If you're a rich man and you marry a poor woman, after a couple of years, they leave you. Look how many Hollywood stars, how many older men have been left by young women. And of course, when you're with a young woman, you know it. But if you don't sign a prenuptial agreement, you're kind of a fool. Most professional male athletes some of them don't sign prenuptial agreements. And their wives those girls are in love. They're getting pregnant really quick. You know why? Money. Unfortunately, money is a big problem in all relationships. It just is. People are greedy. Not everybody is as good as you think they are. And when love fades, money doesn't. People who don't sign prenuptial agreements, I believe it's a mistake. Now, the asshole is the daughter. The father and mother were right. The kid, Harvey, and his wife, they're handling it very well. I suggest them doing it. It might motivate her to get her own career. Because sometimes when a woman gets married to a man who has a career, they stop working. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, from the friends of mine that I have, most of the women in the relationship are not working any longer. Although not all. I have some friends whose wives make good money and are working. But if there are kids involved, or sometimes there's no kids involved, they just don't want to work. It's kind of like a retirement program. Let's go marry some guy who works, and let's never work again. So it gives them a great incentive to marry. So the asshole is the daughter. She's her 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 opinion is of a young child and not of an adult.
Am I the asshole for asking my wife to quit her job because she kissed her boss?
It's I mean, do we have to go further with this? She kissed her boss. She kissed her boss. Now, if it's a peck on the cheek, that's a whole different story. But if it's a kiss, like a real kiss with a tongue involved, are you out of your fucking mind? I mean, what's that going to lead to? I'm going to mention this. It's kind of like when you start with, when you buy a big cheesecake and you put it in your refrigerator, and the cheesecake is sitting there. Now, if you like cheesecake, you're going to say to yourself, let me take a little sliver of that cheesecake. I don't want to eat it all. So you take a little sliver, and then you go to bed. Guess what happens later on? You wake up. Guess what you do? You walk to the refrigerator and say, oh, let me take another little sliver of that cheesecake. And by the time you wake up, you got a third of the cheesecake gone. Well, that's kind of what this kiss is going to lead to. But let's continue.
It all started a few months ago. My wife, 40-year-old female, told me, 39-year-old male, that her boss is madly in love with her. My wife and I laughed about it. We joked about it. Me saying, that's a great compliment. Good for you. Just be careful. I knew they were good friends, and I trusted my wife 110%. Fast forward a few weeks later. Her boss called her at night, 9 p.m. I said, just pick up. Maybe it's important. She didn't and reacted overly, no, I'm here with you. She opened her messages and was trying to delete a message. This is the moment I grabbed the phone and read the messages. She was furious, accusing me of breaching her privacy and such. This is when I saw it. Messages from him saying, I miss you, and hearts being sent back and forth.
All right, let's stop right here for just a second, because the more you go on this, the more nauseating I get. Here's a 39-year-old idiot. Don't call him a man, an idiot, believing his wife, hiding her phone, getting hearts sent to her. I miss you. What does he miss? What do they miss about each other? You know what? She's basically making a confession to him. But continue on, because you know what? The people of this world are so fucking dumb. And you know who's dumb? Young people. This person is 39 years old. He shouldn't be that stupid, but he is.
She lied that they were just friends, and as I know, he is in love with her. So, according to her, nothing to worry about. I made her swear on our children that they did not kiss. And there it was. Silence. She admitted it. And days later, I heard, after asking for it, more and more details. They kissed multiple times. He kissed her multiple times on the neck and hugged her for long periods. No sex.
Also, he kissed her, believe me, everybody. He kissed more than her fucking neck, okay? He kissed her pussy, he kissed her lips, he kissed her chest, he kissed her ass, he kissed everything, okay? This is all a lie. This is like when a girl goes on a date and said, oh, nothing happened. The guy, unfortunately, is being stupid. And when you're in love, believe me, I've mentioned this in other videos, stupid and love are the same thing. He's in love and he's stupid. Obviously, he's done everything already. Let me ask you a question. When you kiss someone, everybody, you know, an old man, and I do kiss people once in a while. Usually when you kiss them, it leads to sex. There's no such thing as a tongue kiss that doesn't lead. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time, I think when I was 13 or 12 or 15 or one of those ages, where you kiss someone and then you touch their boobs over their shirt and then you go home? Okay? That shit's not, doesn't happen in the 30s.
You have to know, my wife is very insecure about work. She has only had jobs for 1 to 2 years, and finally, she landed this job where everything was great. So I was very supportive in every way. I started working less so I could be there for our 3 children and she could work more, etc. The most important thing, she genuinely loves the job, I can tell.
Who wouldn't love a job where they're getting paid money and getting laid at the same time? I'd love that job too.
So we came to a consensus to continue working there. It's a very small company, but I found it difficult. I started to look over her shoulder at what he was messaging and such. Not a great place to be. And then it all went south. We went on a family trip, just the kids and us. And in hindsight, she texted him back and forth every single day. Him texting things like, I wish I knew you earlier, etc. She was so distracted the whole holiday, even though she reacted a bit cold to him. Directly after the holiday, we agreed that she can only continue to work there if they can keep in professional only and have no one-to-one contact in the weekends or after 7 p.m. With this agreement, I felt a bit better. And now, this weekend, I found out that they are calling every day, Saturday and Sunday, behind my back. She said they are sharing feelings because she feels safe with him, not with me, and he understands me. She also said she has certain feelings for him. Now, 2 weeks ago, I'm done with it. And I asked her to quit seeing him completely and thus stop her job, or it's me quitting our relationship because I can't handle it anymore. The lying, etc. She is furious at me, saying that I want to put her in a cage. And what kind of monster am I to decide which friends she has? For clarity, I never made her stop a friendship until now. Also, she thinks I will take the children away from her completely. Obviously, I won't, and will ruin her financially. I won't.
Okay, you don't need to go any further with this. Okay, you're going to make me vomit, whoever you are. She's cheating on you. She's fucking him. She's been fucking him for a while. Obviously, they're texting on the weekends. What do you think they're talking about? She said she when you're on vacation, she sends some type of text saying she wished she knew you earlier. What does that mean? Does it require a freaking translator to figure that out? I wish I knew you earlier. That means I wish I knew you before I married this asshole. That's what it means. So wake up. That's exactly the translation. You don't need to be a genius to figure it out. She's banging him and probably doing everything you would hate to know about. And you are not being an asshole. You're just being stupid that you're continuing with it. If you say to her, look, I'll let you cheat on me. You could sleep with him and let me sleep with other women. You got a situation there that you could possibly work out. But this relationship with the boss is more serious than you think. It's over between you and her. It really is. I mean, yeah, you could probably fix it if you're a real liberal guy and you don't give a shit what they do and kind of like older. If you were in my age, you wouldn't care as much. But at your age with 3 kids, you're doomed. You don't really need a genius to figure this out. The reason why you're acting like you need a genius or that it's so complicated is because you're emotionally hurt and attached. It's the love blinders, the blinders on your eyes. I'm in love. I'm in love. You can't see. You're really being naive, young, foolish. Good luck. Get a new wife. Oh, by the way, whenever you catch a woman cheating on you, you're insecure, you're possessive, you're putting them in a cage, you're crazy, you're making it's imagination, you're a freak, don't touch my phone. All of this shit's women who cheat, they spend half their time on the phone with somebody else. When they're looking at their cell phone and they're with you, you got a problem.
Am I the asshole for telling my friend she's in the same league as men she calls ugly? My friend, 19-year-old female, downloaded dating apps like Tinder and Hinge for the first time about a week ago. For reference, she's the type that always says she wants a boyfriend, wants to do couple things, feels lonely single, etc. She's also, in my opinion at least, very normal and average looks-wise. Not ugly, not super hot, just alright. Since then, she's been complaining to me that almost all the men there are ugly, short, etc., and that she doesn't match with anybody hot. I asked to see which people she was calling ugly, and so she showed me her likes, and it mostly showed people perfectly in her league, as in moderately attractive guys. I told her that these guys were all in her league, and she should give some of them a chance since she always complains about wanting to be in a relationship. She denied that she's the same league as them, and said that she's much more attractive than them. I pointed out that in her own words, she doesn't match with any of the guys she does find attractive, so she's not in their league. She said I was an asshole. Am I?
No. The thing is, people don't want to hear the truth, especially women. Like when you go on the internet, women post pictures of themselves. How many, they could be the ugliest, fattest, most pimply woman in the world, and they go, oh, you look beautiful, gorgeous, hot, stunning. It's all horseshit. Women want to have their egos stroked. And I watched this, I don't know what it is, some TikTok, I don't know, something comes on my phone where there's a bunch of women and guy asked them, what do you rate themselves? And every one of them rates themselves 9 or a 10. They're all 10s. I look at them and I'm thinking 5, 4. I'm not, 6. Nobody's a 10, but in the women's mind, I guess, in order to be competitive with other women, they must all be 10s. They're delusional. And I see these women, they look, honestly, if I had to save the world and sleep with them, I'm the last man and she's the last woman on earth. And I have to save the world and procreate with her. I would run to the other side of the earth. Some of them actually really believe it. It's sad. They actually really believe that the mirror is lying to them. Look, when I look in the mirror, I'm not looking in a funhouse mirror. I'm looking in a real mirror, okay? The mirror shows me what I look like. You could be delusional. I could say to myself, oh, Robert Redford and Brad Pitt and George Clooney and me. I could say that, but some of these women actually believe it. I don't believe it. They believe it. So he's not being an asshole. Unfortunately, she's being ridiculous. She thinks she's going to meet this gorgeous guy who's going to take her away, and she's not. Gorgeous guys want really hot women, and believe me, gorgeous guys are problematic when they're young. They're going to cheat on you. They're going to run around. You think they're going to keep their dick in their pants? Are you out of your mind? At 19 years old, they'll fuck a tree if they could.
Am I the asshole for reminding my mom that she disappeared for 6 years? I'm 18 and my mom and dad divorced 6 years ago. Her new husband didn't want her to see my dad, and so she let my dad have custody of me and didn't exercise visitation. She contacted us last month, saying she had divorced him and would like to reconnect. Dad told me it's up to me, so I said, why not? Things have been kind of awkward between us. Obviously, I've changed a lot since last time she saw me. When she came over yesterday, I was reading An Offer from a Gentleman. My mom said, "You're too young to be reading these toxic romance books." I just stared at her and said, "I was 12 when you disappeared 6 years ago. I'm 18 now." She spluttered for a moment and then told me there is no need to use that word, that she made a mistake and there is no reason to throw it in her face.
This is the child talking? Yeah. No, you're not the asshole. The mom's the asshole. If once you leave somebody for a certain period of time, you create a scar, a wound. And the wound, just like anyone who's had surgery, you could have the greatest surgeon in the world. Maybe plastic surgery is different, but if you have any operation or any wound, when they fix you up, there's a scar. No matter how much you want to cover that scar with Kelly coat or scar gel, there's still some remnants of a scar. And when you leave a child, the child is left with a scar, the scar of the pain of the mom leaving. And now you think you can tell that child what to do, and the child is still angry at you. So you can't really do that at that point. You got to go in this real gently and slowly and let her live her life and try to be a positive force in her life. And maybe she'll gain some trust in you again. But I know for a fact that that resentment may never end. She may always have that resentment towards you. You scarred her, you damaged her, you left her for a man. And believe me, I sometimes when I have a single mother as a girlfriend, I kind of wish she would leave her child and be with me. It's a dream come true, if they would leave their kid, not because I don't like the kid, it's just that I would like to have this woman all to myself. And some women will sacrifice their kids for a man. A lot of women will not. And I think somebody would say to me, what kind of woman would sacrifice her kid for a boyfriend? Do you want that type of woman in your life? And most of my friends, or most people would say no. Now, do I think it's the mom's fault? 100%. Daughter's fault? Zero. You can do what you want. You've been raised without her. You could tell her to get lost. But if you really want to try to make a relationship with your mom, you're going to have to deal with the fact that she left you, and you're going to have to deal with the pain she caused and see if you can move forward. Sometimes you can. It's kind of like relationships with boyfriends and girlfriends. Sometimes your girlfriend leaves you for another man, and 3 years later she calls you. And you got to make a decision whether she's worth accepting back, even though you know what she did to you, and maybe she's changed, or are you going to just say, you know what, you made your bed, now sleep in it. I don't want you anymore. And sometimes you got to forgive. Do I think it's always the case? No, but it's a case by case analysis. Everything is different with every person. So my suggestion to you is give her a chance, but tell her I have my own life. I make my own decisions. I want you to be part of my life, but I don't want you to assume the position of my mom again. You're now my mom, but you're not going to tell me what to do at this point. We're going to have a different relationship. Mom, you're the asshole.
Am I the asshole for not giving up my seat on a plane to a woman and her two young children? Situation is this. I was flying on a red-eye flight from NYC to London. I had intentionally booked a window seat so that I could sleep on the flight, as I can only sleep on a plane with a window seat. When I arrive at my seat, there is a woman and her two young children, 4-year-old slash 5-year-old, sitting in the 3 seats in the row. When I inform her that one of her kids is sitting in my seat, she says that she had booked the other 2 seats in the row, as well as the aisle seat in the row on the opposite side of the plane, and asked me if I would mind switching with her so that she could sit in the same row with her 2 children. I told her that I booked the window seat specifically so that I could sleep on the plane, and that I wanted to keep my seat. She started to cause a bit of a scene, yelling about how I wouldn't switch with her, even calling the flight attendant over to protest, who informed her that they had to honor the ticket and asked her child to move. She then glared at me pretty heavily as she told her child that he had to sit on the other side of the plane for the flight. Am I the asshole for not moving seats?
You're not the asshole. I understand this problem because I can only sleep by a window seat. So I cannot sleep on the once in a while if I'm really exhausted I could sleep on the other seats. But really if I had my preference I would have a window seat with a pillow and angle myself in a position where I can sleep. So if you're booking a red eye the idea is to sleep, not to stay up. So why should I give up my seat for you and your children? I understand they're your kids. Great, congratulations. You did something that everybody can do. You had a baby, or maybe multiple babies. Very complicated to do that, okay? It's your problem. It's not. So the asshole is the mother who glares at you, who demands your seat, demands you to move, and doesn't understand that you're trying to sleep. And believe me, a long flight, and people like me who sleep on planes, when I take a flight over 5 hours, my dream on that plane, my goal when I enter that plane is not to have coffee, to eat sugary food, to take a sleeping aid, and to go to bed. I want to sleep so when I wake up, I'm landing. Okay? That's my goal. So why would I change myself to a position where I can't fall asleep and then be groggy and uncomfortable when I wake up? Nope. Sorry, sweetheart. You're the asshole.
Am I the asshole for not going to my dad's second wedding after he cheated on my mom? I'm a 25-year-old female, and my parents were married for 27 years. They were the couple that everyone thought would make it forever. Like, they laughed a lot, went on trips, always looked happy together. I never really saw them fight. Then, about a year and a half ago, my mom found out my dad was cheating with some woman from his job. It wasn't some one-night thing either. It was a full-on affair. My mom found texts, hotel stuff, everything. It completely destroyed her. Dad moved out like a week later and went to live with that woman. Now she's his fiancée. He tried to tell me the marriage was already dead and he just didn't know how to leave. But come on, my mom was a mess for months. She couldn't even eat properly for a while. Now, fast forward. Dad calls me and says he wants me to come to his wedding with her. Says he hopes I can see it as I'm being happy, and that I shouldn't take sides. I told him, no, I'm not doing that. You don't get to blow up our family, then expect me to smile about it. He got mad at me and said I was being immature and that I need to let go of grudges. He even had my grandma call me to say I'll regret missing his wedding one day. I told her I'd regret pretending everything was fine more. My mom told me she understands whatever I decide, but I could tell she felt relieved when I said I'm not going. My brother, who's 28, says he's going because he wants to keep the peace and thinks I'm being dramatic. Now, my dad hasn't talked to me in like a month. Sometimes I do feel bad because he's still my dad, but honestly, I can't sit there watching him marry the woman who helped wreck my mom's life. Am I the asshole?
Yes, you're the asshole a little bit. It's not 100% you're the asshole. You're just the ass. The key is men who are married for long periods of time are usually, I'm not saying always, they're prone to cheat because the relationship is sour, stale, marriage could be over, the physical relationship is over. I mean, some men, and you could talk to these men, but of course they won't be on camera, who are married don't even have regular sex with their wives. The wives don't want to do it anymore. Now, I don't know this couple, and I don't know if it's his fault or her fault, but he found someone else. He left her. He's been cheating on her. He's not happy. He went on his own. Is there something wrong with someone who's not happy in a marriage to leave? No, that's the way it goes. Marriage is a gamble. It's a crapshoot. You gamble that you're going to find the person who's going to be with you forever. And you know what happens? Many times in gambling, you come up with snake eyes, craps. You end up with the big zero. And this is when the big zero. Now it hurts. I feel bad for her, the wife, because it hurts her and she's in tremendous pain. And I could see the daughter not wanting to go because the daughter doesn't want to hurt the mom. So I'll give the daughter a plus there because she doesn't want to hurt the mom and make the mom feel bad. So I'll go with the daughter on this one. Let her do what she wants. She should still keep the relationship with her father. He's still a father. But unfortunately, people move on. I mean, there's a song, everybody plays the fool, no exception to the rules. Everybody gets this, happens to them, to everybody. Everybody gets stung, stuck, fucked with in a relationship. It happens. It's not abnormal, but I don't think you should lose your relationship with your dad. Oh, the one who kisses the boss. The one who kisses the boss and is telling, that's the biggest asshole. Now, man, I want you to know something. When women are kissing people, texting other people, I'm not saying it's doomed, but it's usually, like when a roller coaster goes up the mountain and then there's this moment where it teeters and then it starts going down the slope. Once they start texting and fucking with you and telling you they're kissing, it's the downward roller coaster. It's only going to go faster and faster and faster until it reaches the crescendo, the end. So you're basically in a relationship that's doomed. Now, you want to believe that there's hope if she changes jobs. What do you think? She's going to change her job and she's never going to see him again? Bullshit. They'll just do it behind your back. Women, I want to make this clear to the world. For every man who's cheated, guess who? Most of the time they've cheated with a woman. So that means there's a lot of women cheats and male cheats. It's not just males. Women do it too. They're just much more sneaky than we are. And there's a guy who, I see him on the internet. He's like, what is it called? Cheetah Buster AI. And he comes in there and he asks them, is your girlfriend on any dating apps? Oh no, she would never. We've been together for 3 years. And then they put her picture in and her address, and guess what? She's on Tinder. Now, I don't know what Tinder is. I know it's a dating app, but can't be very good. Now, of course, she's going to say, oh, I'm just there to meet friends. No woman, let me tell you something. You could catch a woman in bed with another man. She could be fucking him, and you could walk in and be her boyfriend. And you know what you'll say? And you say, I can't believe you did that. You're cheating on me. And she'll say, it's all because you don't appreciate me. This guy took advantage of me. They will never admit it. Never. There's an expression. Do you believe me or your lying eyes? Guess what that means? That means you caught them, but they're telling you some bullshit, and they're saying to you, do you believe me or your lying eyes? And that's what cheaters will always do. Just remember, if you believe they're cheating in your heart, you say, they're doing it. You know what? They are. I've never been wrong. By the way, we could all delude ourselves and say, oh, it's all okay, it's okay. But eventually you will find out the truth. Don't delude yourself.